speak to a head teacher from a school in County Durham. Jane Davis is head teacher at Lanchester Endowed Parochial Primary School in County Durham, and she's with us. Jane, thanks very much for being with us on BBC News. I mean, the obvious thing to ask you first of all is what you make of that decision to end the bubble system. What would it mean for your school?
I'm absolutely thrilled this afternoon. Obviously, we were expecting it after the last couple of days, but to me and to my parents, the vast majority of us are absolutely thrilled. We've been through chaos this term with bubbles going down, children returning to school, only then to have to isolate again, and it's been chaos. So to start September without a bubble system is just brilliant. I'm thrilled with that news.
What do you need in its place? What, in terms of kind of effectively being able to manage what is going to be an ongoing problem with the COVID virus?
It is. I mean, it's not going to go away for September, so I do expect we'll still have issues in September. I don't know whether they'll bring out testing for children, daily testing like we've got in secondary schools. It is more problematic for the younger children because obviously it's quite invasive, so it's quite uncomfortable for them. What I'm hoping is that there may be something, some kind of non-invasive test, like a saliva test, something like that, the children could do daily to make sure that they are sort of clear of COVID. But I think the children have just missed so much school through the bubbles going down, and I just think that they have to have some kind of normality, not just for their academic side of things, but for their mental and their emotional well-being. Children have missed out on so much.
That's a really interesting point. I wonder, can you give us a sense of what you've noticed as a head teacher and talking to your colleagues who are teaching day to day, in terms of that, in terms of the kind of socialisation of children? What changes you've noticed?
I think when no more do the children take school for granted. School is a treat for them this year. I think their whole concept of school has changed, and the fact that they are allowed to come to school, it gives them a real thrill. To see their faces when we have to send a bubble home, they're in tears, they're absolutely devastated at the thought of not seeing their friends for another 10 days. And when they come back to school, it has affected their social skills because invariably, when they're at home, parents are working or they're on Zoom calls, they've got no social interaction with each other. And we have noticed a dip in that across the board, really, with all ages across school.
How do you handle that? How do you deal with that? Because it's quite hard, presumably, to verbalise it, or even for them to verbalise, to explain how their behaviours changed, maybe why they feel a bit less self-confident they did, maybe a bit less outgoing. How do you kind of try and rebuild that?
I think it comes out in their behaviours. I think they don't know how to respond or react to each other. I think they are slightly less tolerant of each other, and I think they've just lost that, the playing with each other, and they're just getting used to being with each other. And that's what we've got to build up with the children again, building their resilience and just their social interactions with each other. We've actually an afternoon we've got sort of concentrated on that element of things in our school, just to help them play and be with each other.
The last couple of weeks of the summer term, which I guess we're now in, is often a time of kind of fun in school, isn't it? It's post-exams. Lots of schools have their sports day, because I was about to say the weather's better. You might qualify that generally better. Have you lost a lot of things like that, the ways which presumably are particularly important for those kids coming into an end of their primary or junior years?
Definitely. It's absolutely devastating for our Year 6 children. We do a lot in our school, celebratory events, and we have had to cancel things. However, we are very lucky in that I've just come back from a residential today. We had our Year 5s and 6s at a residential last week. The majority of children have been able to take part in those, but we've had some who've had to isolate, so they've missed out. We've now just sports days, they were last week, and we had to close the school because we had so many bubbles down. We're just we feel like we're limping through to the end of term, but at the same time wanting to make it that really special time for our Year 6s. We were due to have a sleepover in the school hall. We're not having the sleepover because of COVID, but we're having them back on an evening. We're going to have it all outdoors, a barbecue, campfire. We're just doing what we can and trying to be creative, really, to make sure that those children don't miss out, because they missed out last year. We are determined that we don't want them to miss out again this year.
Jane Davis, head teacher at Lanchester and Dow Parochial Primary School. Good luck with the limping through the last couple of weeks, and I hope you get a bit of a rest over the summer before it starts again in the autumn. Thanks very much for joining us on BBC News.